Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 BMW 228 xDrive Gran Coupe. This model is finished off in Brooklyn Gray Metallic. MSRP is just over $46,000, including the M Sport exterior premium package and the driving assistance package. So we have a very sporty, smaller size vehicle from BMW, and we'll start underneath the hood, where this is powered by the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's also paired to the 7-speed dual clutch automatic. It pumps out 241 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. Sent through that all-wheel drive system, this 3,500-pound vehicle can do 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It's also very fuel efficient. You're looking at 26 miles per gallon in the city and 38 out on the highway. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this has a dark housing for all of the LEDs up front. There's also brushed aluminum for the kidney grille surround, distance pacing sensor in the middle. There's also active grille shutters, parking sensors too, and a lot of gloss black for the lower section. Now there's also gloss black for the trim accents, which are functional, so you can slightly see some of that front tire there. And to me, it looks a little bit like the M5, just with the new design and all of those contoured edges there. There's also some really nice lines that come down the hood too. Now this has a two-tone design for the wheels. There's also power folding side mirrors with the turn signal, and there's gloss black, which works its way to the rest of the window trim. There's also gloss black for the roof with a pretty large moonroof for the size of this vehicle. And there's more gloss black in the lower side skirt there and some nice sharp angles that flow down the side. Now in back, this also has a dark housing for the LEDs. There's a backup camera, all of the parking sensors, and then more gloss black for the entire lower section. Now this also has remote start, so you can use the key fob for that. You can also use the key fob or the button up underneath to release the trunk lid. Now for this smaller size, I'd say it actually has a good bit of space. You get some hidden storage underneath the floor. There's also a cargo net on the passenger side, and you can also fold down the back seats. So if you need a little bit more space, you have the option to do that. Now working our way to the interior, this model also has some red accents. You'll notice that on the door panel, there's also black leather, some storage in the lower section too, and there's also a 2 stamped on the back of that trim accent there, and we have the two-tone design for these seats. Now at 5'10", it's pretty easy to get into. I'd say I have a good bit of leg room. There's also vents and auxiliaries. However, my head is touching the headliner here. So if you are any taller than me, it is going to be a little bit tight. Now you have the armrest with cup holders, and you can even fold down this middle seat if you need to. And then it's actually pretty easy to see all around with the small pillars in the back, and those windows makes it very easy. Now up front, there's memory seating adjustments, Harman Kardon for the audio, the window controls, mirror adjustments, trunk release, and additional storage. And then you have a really cool design for these sporty seats up front with a leg extension too, if you need a little bit more comfort. Now as we start this up, this has a leather steering wheel, no paddle shifters for this model. You have cruise control on the left side. There's also volume, music, Bluetooth, and voice commands. And then you also have some info within the digital gauge cluster. So you can go through all of this, just depending on what you need to see. And then you can even adjust the layout of it too. So you can go through a few different settings there. Now you have some air vent adjustments with a really neat trim accent. And then for the rest of the infotainment system, you do not have the rotary dial or controls down below. So everything is within the screen itself. But it's very easy to go through. You have a lot of apps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can scroll through your interior lighting. There's quite a lot that you can get through. There's also the home screen. So you have your navigation along with some information on this left side. And then there's the climate that you can easily get into. You can even adjust the temperature very easily. And then you also have heated seats for this model too. Now you have more lighting with this brushed accent and matte black trim accent. There's air vents along with a storage shelf. You have one in the lower section, auxiliaries and cup holders. There's volume and tuning. You also have a shortcut to get into your driver assistance, your drivetrain, and chassis. You also have My Modes, so you have 3 to choose from. It will also change your throttle response. There's a shortcut to the camera system, defrosters, and then we can put this into reverse, where you have the backup camera, along with a few different angles here, just depending on how you would like to view it. There's also drive, a low range gear, and then the e-brake is also park. You have storage in the armrest, as well as in the glove box. And then the rear view mirror, dome lights, and controls for the sun shading and sunroof. And here's a look at visibility from the driver's seat. It is very easy to see in both directions. And so we're still in sport mode, just the normal setting. Here we go. And just like that, we're up to speed pretty quick. It's definitely a peppy, fun, smaller vehicle to drive, but this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for this 228. Hopefully you can tell all of the ambient lighting is currently blue and red for sport mode there. So you have the illuminations there, which is pretty neat. I'm sure at nighttime that would look very cool. And we have a very comfortable sporty style seat, something that would be comfortable for daily driving too, but also has some good bolster support to them. So while this isn't the performance version like the M235, this is still something that you could take on some back roads. It's going to be very nimble in its handling and all of that. Not performance oriented quite, but I like that BMW still keeps some of the sporty characteristics within their vehicles, even for more of a base model like this, which is nice. But for the most part, this is going to be just a daily driver commuting a lot, just going from point A to point B. Now, while it is a small vehicle, it doesn't feel too confined up front. As far as headroom goes, at 5'10", I have maybe 2 inches or so of headroom. However, we do have the height adjustable seat, so if you're taller than me, you can go down a little bit where I still have about 2 inches or so. So again, it's on the smaller side if that's what you're looking for, but it doesn't feel too small for what it is. So it's definitely going to be a nice vehicle that you can drive. You can have a few passengers and just some cargo space too. But it seems like a nice vehicle for the mid $40,000 range. And of course that can vary depending on options. We don't have too many for this particular model. The M version that I reviewed was also closer to 60,000 too. So you have a big range just depending on what you would like to get from this smaller vehicle. And it definitely sounds good. For a few of those turns there, seem to handle well for, you know, the speeds that I'm going today. But definitely a fun, smaller vehicle to drive. And that's going to wrap it up for the 2025 BMW 228. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Charlotte. This also has really good turning radius for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.